Right, here we are.
Here we are.
Hello and welcome, Karen Britt. I am anticipating a very awesome time in your presence. It's just awesome to have you on today.
Well, it's good to be on, and I've seen your shows, Tish, and I know you're gonna have a great time putting this together. And I know that in the future, your shows are going to take off, and you're going to have great guests. And you've already had some great guests on,
Amazing.
and people that are going to come into your show, and they're going to learn what the all of us bring our piece of truth, into the kingdom. So I'm glad to be here and share what I've got to share because I
Amazing.
do a lot with what you do.
I know, right? Today you are in my hot seat. This is an honor. I mean, for somebody like you to be seated here after you've eaten, how many people have you interviewed? And I'm sitting here with you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, like, I'll start off like saying about me. I mean, as a child, like, I
Well,
went
let's
to,
let's 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 welcome our Facebook and our YouTube.
sure. Yeah. Let's go ahead.
Yes, you are
I
all
want to
welcome.
share too. I want to take a little break here and share the show on my page too, because we
Yes,
want to get the
yes,
word out.
please.
What's going on?
Let's share. Let's share. Everyone
Let's
has.
share.
Let's share.
You guys
Oh,
are awesome.
awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, there we go. I'm on YouTube. Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome.
There we go.
Oh,
There we go.
yes, we
So
thank God.
everybody out there, I'm going to put a little mix in here. If you're watching right now, be sure to share with your friends and family, and
Yes,
let's get the word out.
everyone. She's my boss. She's leading the way, and I'm following today. So please share and invite people on. It's going to be like fireworks.
That's right.
Wow. Okay, Karim. I have seen you on Kingdom Talks. I've seen you with Karin. I've seen you on with your own programs. And today you are here with
That's
us,
right.
having a conversation with us. The whole thing is about who you are. Where did you come from to be on this journey? I know that you have so much to give, but it would be great to know who you really are and how you came to be a son or a daughter walking the kingdom life.
Hey, I'll take son. It's all the same, right? Well, I mean, like, I'll start it from the beginning. Look, guys, I'm not churched, okay? I did a little bit of church as a child, and my mom was like, and I had a conversation with her just, a couple days ago about this. She goes, "Look, I put you in. I'll let you, do it, and then you get to select what you wanted to do." She never pushed it on me, and I'm glad she hasn't because I have been in some church like in beginning of the 2000s, and it was okay. And then I don't know, it's just still wasn't a place where I just wanted to be every Sunday or every Saturday. I mean, I'm all about I like hanging out with people and talking about the Father and talking about Jesus. I like that small ecclesia. I like just being comfortable about it and not all the well, I'll get into it as we go on. But and then from there, I did the normal. I grew up, went to work, went to school, and did, all the things that we're doing. And then a friend of mine that I worked with, she started talking about things, and she brought me, back in, and we did some stuff together. We even went to a Todd Bentley when that was going on in Florida. We moved from that, and then now um, I'm with a band, and so that sort of opened the door for some things.
Oh,
And I said, like, we're always trying to wait for people to invite us to come play, but we need to create something that we can do to bring
yeah.
our music out. And one day I was cruising around on Facebook and I see this from Gil, and he says, anyone out there, no, I need some help. Anyone out there doing graphic work? And I go, sure, Gil, what do you need?
Oh
And
my word.
and look, who answers an ad like that, right? Because you never know what's going on at
Of
Facebook.
course, yes.
So I talked to Braylon and him in a meeting together, and they go, "Okay, let's do it." Because Gil goes, "You know, my graphics are really bad." I go, "Okay,
Tell
I
me
won't say
about it.
anything."
Tell me about it. I saw the one you did. After I posted mine, I saw yours and I'm like, ah. That is graphics, not what I'm doing. I'm just doing baby games. Yours is the
It
real
was so funny. It was so funny. And then I just joined in, and from there, I started doing the graphics, and then, going through the journey with Gil. I mean, even is like I learned so much from them, and got to meet so many of the people, and you and I know some of the same people, and just I mean, this has been the journey right here, because even being in production of all of this with Gil and
yeah.
now with Karina with the quest for truth, I mean, we're meeting all these people, they're sharing their piece, and hey, you don't have to agree with it, you know
No,
put it
no.
right here on a
Yeah.
shelf, because it's going to come back around. So for me, like, it's been super great, and it's opened up some doors for us. And then I said, hey, let's come up with the East Coast hub, and let's start bringing these people in on
Oh,
the East Coast.
right.
And so, we've done one conference with Gil and Adina and Luke Agee. We're getting ready to do one in September with Karina Fataki and Luke Agee. And
Oh,
so
she's good.
we
Look,
got to get the movement. We have to get the movement in,
we do, yeah.
in the regions, because everything is stagnant right now, and everybody's trying to hold on to that church age, you know. So we want to come in and just really bring in some new stuff and some new teaching. And I'm not a teacher. I mean, I can, but I'm not. My thing is more like building connections, um, getting people to come on and bring their piece. And I just be quiet, let them talk, you know, ask
Wow.
the questions. And
Wow.
we're on a venture of meeting some new people too. Even with Karina, she's talking to a whole different crowd, bringing a whole new, revelation of people coming in, and they're sharing the
Oh,
piece. And it is shaking people up a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, every move is going to shake, and a year from now, I was just saying to her yesterday, a year from now, what you're talking about today, that people are like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Well, that will be common conversation a year from now.
I think so. Actually, she's a great shaker. To be honest,
Yeah.
she's a bit like truth seeker.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, they keep me on the edge.
That's right.
She's a bit
And
like
we
that.
need to be on the edge, we
Yeah.
need to be on the edge, because if we stay in one place, then we never grow into the sonship. And one thing, like, we had Terry Spencer on, and Terry Spencer brings a piece where he's talking about the fivefold ministry, and
Yeah.
then he goes, you need to read the paragraphs under that.
Under the
Until
title,
these things. Yes.
until these things. Yeah.
Until. Okay, well, when is
Until
until?
exactly.
Okay, so it's us until we start walking in this process and getting into the fullness of the Father and becoming a son. That's why I said, I don't care if you call me a son.
That's it. That's it. That's so true. That's so true. So we are in the time of the until.
Yes.
And we are actually having fun in this time of the until. I am actually, because every day is a new day and is an adventure with Yeshua. Every day is an adventure.
Yes.
I know that you have a lot to give on the until, where we are coming from and where we are going. And I know the title is about breaking religious taboos.
Yes.
What does it mean? to move out of one age into the other. And why is that happening?
Well, it has to happen because in order to move into that kingdom and that age, you have to step into some new mindsets, changing some mindsets, because what was good 20 years ago is not going to work today. So like we talk about like what's happened in the last couple years. I mean, we call this the age of apocalypse. We just did a show on it, and it's not meaning, oh, it's scary, it's the end times. No, it means it's the unveiling.
The unveiling. So this is a new meaning to apocalypse. We've all been scared of that name. You have somehow made it simple. Please, let's understand that. What does
Yeah.
it mean? The age of apocalypse.
Apocalypse means the unveiling so that we see the truths and be on a quest for the truth. And some of the truth, it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to seem really strange to people. It's going to go, "Oh no, I've believed this for 20 or 30 years, and now I'm hearing this." And see, right now, like people are trying to keep what's old and fit some of this new stuff in. You can't do it. You can't fit a square peg in a round hole.
It doesn't work that way.
So it doesn't work that way. So some of the things like I'm talking about breaking the religious taboos, like let's go with some verbiage. And here's the main thing that I see in a lot of the comments and chats is like, you guys are teaching new age. Well, that's
Yeah.
good because we are entering a new age.
Gil calls it the next age.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we're moving from
We feel
age to age,
safer.
glory to glory.
We feel safer with next age. So it's next age. Let's let's just say it's next age. What is going on with that? So the
Next.
unveiling of things that have been hidden for years.
Right. So like when the scripture says like don't do any sorcery or divination or these things. What the father was saying, there is a righteous real side to this because hey, when you're doing a prophetic word, guess what you're doing? You're going into the divine presence and
Wow.
you're bringing the word down to give out, okay?
To the
So
people.
your divination. What the father was trying to say, don't do it the way the pagans or the world people are doing it. You're doing it anyway when you give somebody a prophetic word. Well, let me back up on this a little bit
Please do. I
because
need you to.
yes, because prophetic words sometime and I'll say this, sometimes I feel like when they're going, I feel like the Lord's saying or this or that, are you really encountering the Father for a word for somebody? Or
Mm,
or are you just giving a word out of your heart because you want to bless them? You
right,
have to hear the Father. You have to engage divine divination. Engage the Father to get that word. And
right.
then that you're right because it's coming from the Father. It's just not coming out of your mouth, you know.
Yeah.
So
Not out of
then
your
we
spirit.
go to Tish, you and I were just talking about the stones. I
Yeah.
put a post in my thing. This is New Age. Oh my God, y'all are using crystals. No, we're not worshiping the crystals. What we're doing is the throne room is encrusted with crystals. Gates are encrusted
Ooh.
with crystals. And the crystals really, why does the heaven, when we look at the Bible, why does it talk about that? Because there's a reflection, there's an energy that comes from the Christ, the Father, and these crystals reflected out. The energy of them are coming out through it. So, when you go to church and you see gemstones falling, oh my God, it's a move of God. I go in there right now and pull a crystal out. Somebody goes, "Uh-oh, new age." What's the difference?
Right. Right.
What is the difference? It's a stone, it's a rock, it's a stone. Okay, so you go somewhere. Oh, you can't talk about crystals. Oh, and somebody was telling me a story yesterday. They went to Israel and the
Yeah.
pastor said, pick up a stone that's calling out your name.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
then a couple months ago, they told that same person, do not mess with crystals. I mean, I mean, I'm hearing stuff. People are coming to me talking about this. Oil, same thing. You anoint people in church. You go in church, they're pouring oil on you or dabbing oil or smearing the oil on you. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody else use it. Tish, you bring up a bottle of essential oil and say you're dabbling around with New Age.
Olive
I'm like,
oil is
what is
okay.
the difference, y'all? But I will tell you this. I'll tell you what the difference is. That anointing oil that you buy out of the Bible store has got synthetic
Oh,
ingredients in it, where
yeah. Yeah.
essential oils are pure. So that's what the difference is. So see,
Wow.
these are the taboos. Like people take some of the stuff and run away. And chakras is another word. You know, it's a word salad going on here. That the words are like you're talking new age language. Well, a chakra means wheels. Look it up. You don't have to take it from me.
Oh, wheels within wheels.
Wheels, right. So what is a wheel? I mean, inside of us, I mean, we're created inside a universe inside. We are have is heaven within us. We our body is a merkaba. I know we just went out a second. Of our body is a merkaba, which is a chariot. We're like a temple. We go to and fro, back and forth. We're moving that around. People see us move, and so when people say go out here, you need to preach the gospel. Well, the gospel isn't just trying to go around getting people saved. It's us, a Merkaba, a being of light. We carry heaven within. We don't have to say a word. You just build a relationship with that person. So see, like all of this stuff is it's so simple, but the institution has made it so like scary. You're dabbling in this and you're dabbling with that. Now I will say anything that the enemy has gotten part of this, okay? Where did he get it from? Because he didn't create it. So there's a righteous real side, and then there's you got the corrupt, twisted, bent side of it. So he had to take something from the Father to corrupt it. He
Oh,
didn't create New Age. He just twisted it some, you know. So that's what we have to get over and stop looking at this Bible just at face value and start really diving deep. Not everybody's going to do it though. We really
of course.
realize that. And so people like, you know, we're having on our shows, and I'm going to relate to you because we're doing the same thing. The people that we're having on our shows, that's why we're bringing them in because they're breaking this down. You know, True Seeker had a show with me. We were talking about, let's go back to the stones, the Uman and Thummim. Those were casting of lots. In the Old Testament, it was a black stone and a white stone. They would put it in the breastplate. They would actually light up. It would actually light up the breastplate. They
Wow.
would take them and toss them, and that's how they would hear from God. They would roll them like dice, casting of lots.
That's why they were rolling dice to tell.
Yes, because they were trying to find out what the Father was saying.
Oh my word. Breaking taboos. You are going to get into trouble, Karen.
I know. I don't care. I stay in trouble.
You know, I woke up to you and through Sika and Karina 2 days ago. I woke up with a question in my heart, and you know how he Holy Spirit puts the question in your heart to ask, so He will give you the answer. That was the experience I had. So I woke up from a dream that was not related to ancient past or anything ancient at all. And then I had a question about, Father, how did they do it in ancient days? And then I started engaging his heart with this question. I don't know what happened. Within minutes, I moved to my phone, picked up the phone, clicked on it, and you had invited me to join a podcast, and I clicked on it, and you were talking about the exact question I asked.
Isn't that cool?
I was shocked. I'm like, how is this even possible? So I sat there and I listened, and I'm like, okay, right. So you actually are telling me this thing now because I need it. And it's a question I've been asking for a while, but haven't really engaged it properly. But you know how when he's bringing something your way, he keeps poking you little by little, and pushing you into it. That's what he did. And then, bam, there was the answer. And you were with Truth Seeker. I'm like, my goodness, you are good.
Nobody knew this, but Truth Seeker had on linen. And so that opened up another can of worms. So we have to talk about the linen. And I'd love for him to come on and actually, even on his own show, talk about that because I said, "Oh, nice outfit you have today," and he goes, "Oh, I have my linen on, right?" And
Oh,
because the linen on the clothes carries a frequency, that's why they wore it in your Bible, So it was so interesting that those people are camping out and studying and really going deep diving. It's hours of work for these people. Okay,
it is.
I
It
mean,
is.
really. And here they are. They're spending the hours of work, and then they come on a show or a podcast and talk about it. We're not having to do the work here, folks.
Somebody's sharing it
They're
with
doing
you.
it for you. But you know what? They always encourage you, hey, you don't have to believe me. Go look it up for yourself. And they give you the tools to do it. And that's important, because then they don't want to get church like, just believe what I'm saying. I'm the guy on the front here.
Because
They
we've
don't,
gone past that. We've gone
right,
past that. In
right.
this age, no one is going to tell somebody to listen to only what I have to say.
Yeah,
And this is why I tell people that we have to be merciful. It's okay if somebody is having a revelation that you don't completely agree with or grasp or understand. It's okay because we all are walking our path. I am a special book in the hands of Father that He is writing. And He loves this story that He's writing in me.
right.
He loves the story He's writing in you. And each one of us, each one of our stories are going to be told into eternity. And this is the beauty of what He is doing. Karen, tell me, what is the story with you? Because I know.
Well, my story is, I mean, like for me, my blueprint is to bring people together, the connection realm, to have the shows, to bring people on, to bring people here. I'm in Virginia, in the States. So I'm like 2 hours from DC. And also, I have the Elastic Army Band. Mike Haas was the founder of it. I was introduced to him, and I've never written music before. He'd said, "Have you ever written anything? Because I think you can't." I laughed at him, right? So, but I did end up doing it. I wrote my first song, and we've written like I don't know, over 20 now, and actually we're reworking some of that. So I'm a lyric writer, so and I'm lead vocal for the band, and I have a good team, and the thing about us, like, and this is something that you'll we talk a lot about the physics and the frequency and the
Quantum,
sound of
yeah,
music.
quantum physics, frequencies. Yes.
So
Sound.
so my thing is, if I do teach, I'll talk more on that. And I've had people like walk up and lay their hands on Mike's guitar and stuff, so they could feel what's coming out of it. Because if you look at his instruments, for instance, electric guitar, it's wood. So the wood has life in it. It has a life of its own.
Wow.
Then when he arcs as another being, because the wood is a being, he's arcing with that wood and the strings and the metal. He's arcing with that. And then together he's producing a sound.
Wow.
And we always play, we change from a 440 to a 432 hertz. And now it sounds different. Now, for music on just a, if I'm just talking music to you, 432 for a vocalist is a more comfortable, more laid back, where 440 is a lot of tension in the voice, right?
Right.
But I mean, like, and then even Dave, he plays bass for us. I mean, he has a low frequency, boom, boom,
Yeah.
and we get people to touch that so they can engage and arc with that sound and frequency. And then, like, you'll see the institution like get freaked out over like the flower of life, sacred geometry.
Yes.
Well, that's a lot of the music, and then like if our team like Mike and them talk about that, he has that it's a musical wheel and it's got the chords on it and which ones go with which. And it
Yeah.
looks like that. It looks like the sacred geometry. Well, sacred geometry is just a mathematical sequence of circular, you
So
know. And I know that resonates with you right now when I'm saying it's circular.
wheels within wheels within
Wheels.
wheels within wheels. Ooh.
Right. That's all it is.
That's
So
all.
let's take the taboo off of this thing. God created it. The Father has created it. The enemy has not created anything. And so a lot of things like look at this like Kabbalah. This is where it comes from. They're like, it's Kabbalism. Okay. And some of that was you're going to have, a twisted version of the righteous real. So you just got to separate the two,
Yeah.
and just look at it. So within the music realm for me, like I'm writing the lyrics. So, and even my lyrics, like I've moved away from all, a lot of the stuff that you hear in the traditional music. And mine more or less is like, my lyrics are taking you on the journey. Like we're going
Right.
into the universe, we're entangling with the DNA or, that kind of stuff. And just bringing the teaching into a music form
Wow. You
instead
know,
of the traditional, how people like, we know who we're talking about, where they're just like, come down, come down. What are you saying? Come down for? It's already in you.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
I've gotten so sensitive about how I'm writing because a lot of music, Christian music, they're always begging the Father to come down.
Yeah.
He's already there. The Holy Spirit's already there. They're there. It's inside. It's got to come out from you. So I try to keep my music in that realm and just sing about different layers and my own experience and my own encounters of what I'm seeing. And then, like, I do read a lot. And so when I'm reading it, I can picture it, you know,
Yeah.
I see it in my mind, the third eye.
Yeah.
And I see that in my mind. And then I can take whatever I'm reading or hearing and convert that into a lyric too
Wow.
from
Wow.
my heart, what I'm getting out of it, my revelation of reading somebody else's
Of
revelation.
course. Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Because as you were speaking, I could tell the difference between what's happening now and what we have done before. Whereas before, we've been shouting and screaming, and it, we've been working in a lot of tightness and tension and
Yes.
guesswork. Will it work? Will it not work? But you are talking about working from a place of total rest. And from that place, there is flow. There's just flow. And as you were talking about your own revelation from what you read, what you receive, what is coming to you, you get your own revelation. And this is the sonship, isn't it? You don't just take the head knowledge,
Right.
take by head knowledge and reproduce, but you engage with the heart and bring it into alignment with truth, and then you get your own revelation
Revelation.
of that. And this is what sonship kind of is about. I know you are an amazing son of God, walking this path, having fun, because every time I see you, you are smiling.
Yes, I love a good smile.
You are
And
so full of
Tish,
joy.
Tish, another thing, let's talk about this music some more. And here's another thing, a taboo I like to break out of the religious scene
Go ahead, sis.
is taking like in the traditional scene of things, we've been requested, we need your words, we need to see your words, we need to have them up. I refuse to do it. I won't play like that
Wow.
because it's worship. And I sometimes I don't even like using that word because s- the Father doesn't, I mean, Jesus doesn't want you to worship him. He wants you to be a friend to him.
Oh, you know what, Karen? That is very, very important. What you
Yes.
just said. What
Yes.
you just said, I really need you to explain it a bit because we have asked this question. Well, we have thought that we are created to
Yeah,
worship Father.
like that. Well,
Yes, because that's
does
what
your
we have
children
known.
do that to you? Do
Oh,
they have a relationship with you, or do they go like this to you? Yes, mom. Yes, dad. Whatever you say. Yes, they follow your instructions, maybe not all the time,
not all the
but
time.
yeah, right, not all the time. But yeah, there's like communication going on. There's relationship. So look at it in your own life. You don't want somebody just worship you because I don't want somebody to worship the Elastic Army Band because y'all are the best musicians on the planet. No, I want you to get relationship with what we're doing and engage in arc with us. I don't even like to call myself a worship leader. I hate it because I can't lead you into something that you're not ready for. You need to engage with the music that we bring and let your song come out of you.
Wow.
Okay. My
Oh,
song will just get the wheel started, right? But my song is coming from my heart to the Father.
right.
So that's what I'm saying. We don't want to put our words up for you to be staring at a screen because, hey, if you want to say worship, you can't worship looking at a screen trying to go, what is she singing? And trying to follow along because you're reading, and you're not engaging. You're not closing your eyes. You're not meditating on them. You're not getting into the frequency and the sound. You're trying to follow. Look, you're not going to know our stuff anyway because we don't do covers, for
Come on.
one.
Come on. Come on.
Because all of our stuff is original. So you're not going to know it from the get go anyway, unless you follow us, you've heard what we do, you've bought our music or whatever,
Yeah.
So, and,
Wow.
and we're constantly changing. You can't keep up because we don't necessarily do a mantra like over and over. We can be in one place in a song and totally shift into something else. And you go, wow, where did that come from? And I go, I want to write music's like somebody doesn't know where we're going. So we can be really slow in one part of the song, and the next end of that song, you could be somewhere else on another planet. I mean, it's totally different, the shifts in the music itself.
It's all
So,
being led. It's all spirit led, isn't it?
yeah,
Or just as you are being led, you move. It's a flow. It's a
right.
river that is flowing. You flow with it. My first experience of that was in an Ian Clayton's conference,
Yeah,
and Pelnegi was the one who was doing the singing, and I think her husband was with the instruments and other people, it was the most amazing experience because you don't know, I didn't know any of the songs, yet it was so magical and it was so real and authentic, and I love that about what we are doing now, about the sonship work. Everything is about engaging Father heart to heart and allowing your own frequency, your own flow, your own and sound to come forth, and
yeah.
that is what you are doing.
Right. And Tish, let's go back to that worship question that you asked. I mean,
Yes.
if you go back and let's look at this for a minute. Um, and it's hard because people are so tuned in to worship because they say the Bible says worship the Father. But there you can worship all day long. How many people worship all day long, but they're really afraid to have a relationship with the Father?
Oh,
Because there's fear. I've done this or I'm doing this or whatever. And it
yeah.
and you feel like that blockage there.
Yeah.
Well, you're worshiping, but at the same time, like you have a fear. There is a fear of the Lord out of honor, respect. But I'm
Yeah.
talking about fear, like that kind of fear. Oh my God, or they're afraid to have conversation, like I remember Ian Clayton said one time, like, in some of his teachings, he said, Moses,
Oh,
you know,
shit.
he would debate with the Father. And see, most of the Christian thing, like, oh no, you can't do that. He gives you instructions, you got to obey it. Well, no, you don't, because you still have free will here. But they had conversation, even if, Moses said, I don't think so, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's real conversation. That would be like you and I having a conversation. You carry the Father Spirit in you. I'm having a conversation. We're arcing together. And I
Yeah.
go, I don't know, Tisha, I'm not feeling that right now. And then you keep talking, and I go, okay, okay, And so, like, you can do all this worship, but if you're not having communion and relationship, okay, where are you at? So that's what I mean. Like, we can worship all day long, but there's got to be a relationship.
That's the
Um,
connection, isn't
yeah,
it?
I mean
The
that's pretty much
relationship.
the basic of it.
Yeah. I think the way we were taught what worship is actually detaches us from having a relationship, because
Yeah.
it's all about, I'm down here, I'm
Yes.
fear. The fear of the Lord was actually fear. It was introduced to us as fear. Yet it is not fear, it's reverence. It's something completely different. I mean, I'm teaching in the School of Science, which is an online school for most people. And people who have come from the church are the most battered ones, because they walk in so much fear of a God sitting in the skies and ever ready to punish you. And when you even describe judgment as not being into condemnation, but into correction, to be judged is to be, for your life to be turned around. For people are struggling to understand that. And what you are describing right now, until you step into his rest, you are not able to even understand what we are saying right now. You won't understand if you still hold onto the religious mindset. You cannot understand what we are saying right now. So, Karen, I'm going to give you the opportunity to tell us how to move away from that place to where we are.
Yeah, well, to me, it's a conscious decision. I mean, your choice chooses you, right? So it is hard. And I have talked to a lot of people. I do have a lot of people around me that's, been in church for a long time, and some of them are still in church, right?
Yeah.
So, the first thing is like if you decide to stay in an institution and you don't really like it, but you're being in there, but you just got to honor it for what it
Yes.
is.
Mm.
Okay. So I'm not trying to, I mean, it is what it is. And, we've gone all through it and, we just honor where it is. I mean, hopefully like we can start coming in and infiltrate some of this, and come through it, but honor it. If you're going to be in it, just honor it where it is. And then you can do your stuff on the outside of it, you
Yeah.
know, do your reading, get the books, and like and Tish, I know you hear this a lot. Like people have come to the church and go, "I read this, wow," and then they go, "I don't think so. That sounds demonic, or you're channeling spirits, or whatever you're doing here."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they get hurt. I
Yeah.
mean, our realm of people are people that have come out of the institution
Mm.
organization, and they've been hurt because they were like, tried to come to them for answers and they just couldn't get the answers. Well, they can't give you an answer because they're not engaging it themselves, the
Wow.
leaders.
Yeah.
So they can't give you an answer, but then it looks like it's retaliation because I'm going to say this and it's going to be out of the box. And in this movement right here, I mean, we can call it the mystic movement or whatever you want to call it. I see babies trying to correct the sons, the maturing sons.
Mm.
Every time somebody says something like that's off that they're not used to, the first thing they do is come in here in a chat or in a comment and
Yeah.
go, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba, and just shoot. I mean, it's like bullets, dodge them, you know,
Yeah.
and it's just like they're where they're at. They're still drinking the milk, but the milk drinkers are trying to correct the sons. the
Yes.
maturing sons.
Mm.
And we even got a long way to go. There's things that we're not doing yet in the sonship. I mean, I haven't walked through a wall yet. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying? I
yeah.
mean, I mean, there's some things that that we're even growing in and doing that. I mean, because Jesus did all that, folks. If you don't know, if you haven't heard it yet, look, Jesus did when he was when the people were attacking him, getting ready to push him off the cliff. They just didn't part ways and say, "Okay, you can go through." He went through the crowd.
He went through the crowd. They have no clue. They had no clue. He had authority over the elementals. He had authority over. He could walk through them, and
Yes.
I,
Yeah.
I wish I
We're
was.
not even at that. I mean, I'm on the pursuit. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. But even the little bit that we're bringing, like the milk, it's just the milk's coming in and trying to correct us. And we're given, I feel like every one of the people that come and talk on our shows, I feel like they are bringing the evidence
Yes,
whether they're the other side is or the other people that aren't quite there yet are still locked into some religiosity, they're saying that maybe these guys are twisting the word to make it fit in their mantra.
mm,
Okay, well, the same can be said about you. I
right.
mean, but the scripture is faceted. It's not one layer, open the page, whatever's in the black, whatever's in the red. I mean, you've got to take this stuff apart and dissect it and see what these words mean because our English language does not come
That's
anywhere near the depth that
that's
they're
it.
writing.
That's it. The language limits everything for us, and we are not talking about Christian religion alone, are we? We are
You
talking
know,
about
mm-mm.
any kind of religious box that we have boxed ourselves in. Any kind always restricts us and stops us from exploring for ourselves. Why should we explore? Why do you think we need to explore the unknown?
Well, I'm going to tell you, like some of the other religions, even, I think they have, and even if you want to talk about the New Agers, and if you really talk to a New Ager, you'll find out a lot of them do believe in Jesus. They do believe in the Father. But like some of the other religions have tapped into the spirit realm of operation that we haven't, like the Hindus and stuff, like they're going, oh no, Buddha, whatever, right? Look at some of it. I mean, how do you know that they're not really talking about the Father in their own language, right? Or, you just got to go in there and explore it. But I think some of these people have tapped into, and if you want to talk about it on the Christian realm of things, you hear a lot of the Christian realm say the enemy's stolen our stuff. Okay, well, we got to go back and get it, right? So if you're going into Satan's storehouse and you're getting it back, well, these are the things that you're getting back. You're taking back what somebody else has taken and twisted. But I'm going to say a lot of the other religions have tapped into a spiritual realm that we've haven't tapped into it. I'm not saying like engage in demons and stuff like that. I'm talking about practices like meditation and stuff like that. They haven't tapped into how to do that. Like some people meditate, singing bowls, stuff like that, that look new agey, but they're not really. It's more, it's on the more of the music side. I have bowls myself. They're tuned at 432
Oh wow.
and the frequency and the sound of them bring in healing. A lot of stuff gets broken out. And so here's one test I get a lot. You don't need these things. You have the blood of Jesus that heal you. And I go, well, why are you still sitting in church sick then?
Oh dear. Okay.
Why, if you
Why?
think Jesus did all this for you, which he did, but he has given us tools to use, okay, other
Yeah.
than just praying, oh, heal me, right? Because I'm going to tell you a story here shortly. And so then why are you running to the doctor?
Of
He
course.
can use, and they'll say, well, he can use doctors. Well, that's the only thing he can use.
Uh-huh.
You're okay with taking synthetic pharmakeia?
Medication. Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. So my story is about 2 years ago, I went to go get a colonoscopy. I was bleeding. Okay. So when I went, I did to get diagnosed with a cancer polyp. And I'm like, uh-oh. Right? So and so I'm like, I did freak out. Anybody does, okay?
Of
So
course.
I went through the process and they sent me to another surgeon and she was great. I mean, there are some great doctors out here, okay? And so I don't discount them all. I know there's a operation behind some of this stuff, but there are some great doctors out there. So I went to her and I would say this probably, I mean, this is crazy. So I'm getting ready and I'm getting ready to go for surgery. And at the last minute, when I was getting ready to drink the stuff, and I had to do a whole body cleansing to get ready for colorectal surgery, they call me and say, stop doing what you're doing. Now, in the meantime, now I'm speaking to my body, okay?
Wow.
Because I'm like, okay, Karen, you got a situation going on. You got to put into practice what
Right.
you're even saying. Okay. So I started speaking to the colon. I go, this is not going to happen. I'm not going to need this. I'm speaking to the colon, full healing. And so I'm getting ready for surgery the night before. They call me the morning of and said, don't drink any of that stuff. And I go, what? No, they call me the night before. You don't have you started yet? And I go, no, I've done all the first bath and all that. She said, stop. The doctors are going to call you. And I'm going, what? She goes, I can't tell you. And I'm friends with these people at this point, right? And
Wow.
so the doctor calls me. She said, Karen, you don't need the surgery. I go, what? I go, are you sure? And she goes, yeah, I'm sure. She goes, what happened was the polyp was there. The cancer is at the top of it. It never dropped down into any of the layers of the colon.
Wow.
And so when they removed the polyp from the first visit I went to, it did it. So I didn't need the sectioning taken out of my colon.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm here to say, if you got an issue going on, the Father's giving you the tool. Start speaking it in, because if we're moving in these realms and
Yeah.
we are identity who we are in Christ and
Yeah.
start moving into the reality, we should be able to speak to our own body, because what? It carries the kingdom of heaven within, and start
Within it.
speaking in that and recreating, creating, co-creating
Wow.
back the original DNA, the original how we're made up. The body's got to transform. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we're on a journey. And then once we start really stepping into that, we're going to see some, not the typical gifts, laying on of hands and all that, because I mean, that's really for unbelievers. So we can go out and do things for them
Oh,
so
wow.
they can start believing. But when we start walking in the fullness and sonship that we're trying to get to, now we're going to see something different, because we're going to be able to speak it. I mean, you won't even have to do anything to anybody. You just walk by them and they, you know,
That's it.
I mean,
Woo!
just like Paul did, but the shadow, overshadow, he would walk by people, they would get healed. See, these people were already tapped in to what most of everybody's calling new age practices, whatever. These people were tapped into this. They operated in this stuff. They knew it. It's just been hidden from us. The apocalypse is here to unveil the
The
truth.
truth. So it's just the religious boxes that we have put ourselves in
Right,
that has boxed us up for so long.
right.
And we are breaking free of those boxes. And I am beginning to love words because it's the same words that were used to keep us in the boxes. Yet the meanings, or the different meanings we are getting of the words, are actually getting
Yes.
us out of the boxes. And you have dropped a few of them. You've dropped quite a number of things today that I would want to
There's
go
like
on.
there's tons of them. I mean, it's just, I mean, like when you really start to look at it, you'll just see like so much of the taboo, and you'll see like, well, wait a minute. I mean, it started coming out to me because I'm listening to the teachings and I'm like, well, wait a minute. I even had pictures that I posted where I was at a meeting and the guy had all of his stones and stuff out. And I'm looking at it, I go, I need to post that picture. I need to post that picture and then post a crystal and go, this was in church. This is a crystal.
Oh, wow.
What's the difference? The crystals were manifesting in the
In
church.
the
He had
church.
them out on the, cloth that he had. So why am I demonic for having a crystal? In fact, they do present healing. They have an energy, especially clear quartz. They have an energy inside of them that actually people with cancer have taken clear quartz crystal and
Wow.
put in like a glass of water
Yeah.
and start drinking it and were cured of cancer. I mean,
Amazing.
see what I'm saying? Like, and so the Father made them. So why can't he put the healing in it? Remember, Ian got Legionnaire's disease. He's laying in the hospital and
Yeah.
he's asking God to heal him. And God said, I gave you the tools. Why aren't you using them?
Oh.
You
Oh.
know, so that's what I'm saying. Like if we're, maturing sons, then we've got to use the things. And so the unveiling of it, because suppose like with the situation we got today, and you can't go to a hospital, we're
Exactly.
going to have to do something. you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you're going to, you got to use some sort of tools.
Yes.
You can you got a prayer life, meditation, you can speak, co-create, whatever
Yeah.
into your body.
You know, I feel, you know what? We have been,
Jesus used mud to open somebody's eyes. Come on. And spit. No, I don't want to spit on you. Like,
yeah,
Paul
we,
used a cloth. Paul used a cloth. He
he
passed the
did.
cloth out.
He did. Yeah. And we've been using them wrongly, but I believe we are entering an age where we would need these tools, and that's
Yes.
why they are being revealed now, so that when the situations come, we would know what to do. And this is not a time to reject what Father is doing.
Yes.
This is a time to embrace it. And I feel like we've not even scratched the tip of the iceberg yet at all.
Yeah. There's going to be a whole lot of more coming out, and we're going to learn about some different facets of communion. I'm not going to reveal that yet because that's coming
Oh,
out.
wow. I think we should do this again. We are nearly an hour.
I have somebody else to do that one. But I mean, there's some different stuff that's coming out. It's going to blow your mind. It's just going to blow your mind.
I can't
That's all
imagine.
I'm going to say.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Wow. Our interest in words are changing, our interest in nature, the things that have been planted on the land, in the trees, everywhere around us that has been corrupted or has is being used in the unrighteous will is now being used righteously. And hey, healing, we are overcomers.
That's right.
This is what Father is doing. We are overcomers.
Yes, definitely. Recently on the Quest for Truth, Karina and I interviewed a Christian witch. And oh,
Okay.
that really wrong.
Okay. Okay.
I did,
Okay.
I did. Wait, Christian witch. Well, come to find out, this lady's a pastor, right? And so she was a Wiccan back in the day. Her whole point of the thing was that if we're bringing something new to the table and we bring it into an institution of people that's got a religious, carrying a religious spirit, they
Oh,
about burn you at the stake.
yes.
And if you go back through some history, look how many people were burned at the stake for their
Exactly.
belief.
Exactly. Oh, this is
So,
so
I
good.
mean, it was
So
fabulous.
good.
I mean, she brought so much to the table, it would just blow your mind. But see, like, and she said, even when I was a Wiccan, I didn't do the dark stuff. She goes, I was all about like loving on trees and plants and things like that. And I kind of laugh because what are we hearing in our realm? Like you're talking about elementals, the
Yes.
plants, you
Yes.
know, Jesus spoke to the fig tree. They're doing stuff with nature, you
Yes.
know.
He spoke to the
And
storm.
yeah.
He spoke
So
to
here we are. And so I mean, like when we talked to her, it was nothing like what people expected.
I
Nothing.
know. As soon as you just said Christian witch, I'm like, oh, but I
See,
can
and
understand
I
the
brought up the
principle.
Witch of Endor, and she goes, "Let me tell you, in the translation, because she was all about the ancient text, and she said, the translation that and this is another topic for people that kind of mess people up is our word in general, because a lot of it has been manipulated through Constantine when and all that went on, and some things were in there and switched around to more manipulate people so they wouldn't come into the
Wow.
power that they really are supposed to have. And like she was bringing up, like I said something about the witch of Endor. I said, I know people bring this up to you, and she said, "Do you know that that's not even in the original text? A witch, that's something that was put in as an English word afterwards."
Amazing.
Even though it's not making it right, it's just the word itself.
It's
And
a
that's what I'm
word.
saying. There's a word salad going on here. If we're using the words like chakra or whatever, immediately the radar goes up about, oh,
Yeah,
they're talking new age, and we're not. It's just words.
it's word.
We're
Yeah.
the words are just being used to describe, like we had another girl on that said, she said, let's call them magnetic sources, the chakras, right? She
Yeah.
goes, so if you take in bad, like negative stuff, unforgiveness, this,
Yeah.
those magnetized or wheels of energy, all of that goes right to those energy things and it blocks you up. So
Exactly.
then you start having body problems. You
Exactly.
start having health problems. You've got to unclog those and get all that unforgiveness, bitterness, whatever out. So you got this flow of the Christ oil
Oh,
running up and down
yeah.
your spine.
Yeah. I do forgiveness therapy for people. And I'm telling you, the healing that comes, we do 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks.
Hmm.
By the third, fourth week, the healing that comes even into the body itself is unbelievable. And this is just a tool. Forgiveness therapy is a tool to help you move from that place of bitterness and unforgiveness and all the sicknesses that come from it into your
Yep.
freedom. So you have free flow. But we could hold on to unforgiveness and end up
Yep.
going to hospital and getting medication for headaches and migraines and all sorts of things that we do not
Right.
need.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, like when Bianca explained it like that, I was like, man, really? I mean, like she brought the Christian verbiage in with it and said, let's take away the chakra language for a minute, and just use those as like energy open where things are drawn into it, or that can block, because she was talking about the Christ oil,
Yeah,
runs up and down your spine. You have the spinal fluid, and what happens is, like, the seed of Christ flows up and down through your spine,
oh,
and so when something gets stuck there, because you're unforgiving or you're holding some kind of something on somebody or whatever,
yeah.
it's getting in that opening there.
Wow.
It's like a portal, and
It's
so it's blocking that gate from that fluid to flow
oh,
from top to bottom. And I mean, like, your body is so structured. People don't really realize. I mean, listen to these people, guys, when you're seeing them. Don't freak out. Listen to them, because they're really explaining how the Father set up your body. It's something that it is a temple. It's
yeah.
a
It's
Merkaba, so it's a vehicle that carries you to and fro. So I mean, listen to what they have to say. Even Tish, listen to, go into her class, and she may
yeah,
use that word. I don't know. It's just a word.
I know. And what
I
I
mean,
keep saying to people now is if somebody uses a word that you don't understand or you feel icky about, or when the antennas come up, search for the meaning of that word. Really search for the true meaning of the word, and then see how it resonates with you outside what we have made it to sound like, or
right.
because we have to pull down those walls in order to build new walls. Anyway,
We got to take it back. And if you're in that realm of thinking like that, then take it back from the enemy if you think the enemy took it.
Yeah.
Take it back.
Back. It's yours. It's yours. Oh,
It's not
awesome.
spooky, y'all.
It's
You're look,
nothing is spooky. It's as spooky
yeah,
as you want
Tish,
it to
you know
be.
this. You're going to hell if you're messing around with this. Are
Oh
you?
no.
Look, let me say something. And I heard Chris Blackleby saying that. If you're wrong about something, do you think you're really going to go to hell because you're wrong about something?
Oh, Karen.
You know,
You don't want to
because
go there.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's the way it's looked at, though. You're dabbling in this. You know, you're dabbling in that. Okay, suppose you are. So you could go through a season of that and walk through it and come back around and get some truth out of it and go, okay, well, I could see, and I'm seeing something here as I'm communing with the Father on this. So, I mean, if you're wrong about something, if you made a mistake or made a wrong, thought about it, you're not going to go to hell over it just because you thought about something wrong. I don't know that chakra thing. Am I going to hell for saying that? No. you
Will you
know,
put your child
it's
in
just
fire
a
because
word.
just because they went to talk about chakras? Will you put your child in fire for talking about chakras?
Wow. And
Wow.
I mean, that's how crazy it gets, and it's all fear based. That's pretty much the bottom line of it. It's all fear based, and don't look into it. It's opening a door, it's opening a portal, no, you're just looking into it. Well, let's see what it is.
Yeah.
Curiosity. Let me check it out, see what it is. I mean, you're
Wow.
not what does it all
Wow.
mean? And so, I mean, that's been my pretty much message. And pretty much my goal is to have conversations about this and bring people on to reveal some of this stuff. And let's remove the taboos. Let's start looking. We got critical thinking going on here. Let's
Exactly.
use it.
I'll, you have to give us your last word and a prayer, but I want to acknowledge the people who are on here. Steve Hampton, thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah.
Oh, you are so great.
I love
It's
Steve.
great.
Steve and
Oh,
me can
I
talk for
love
hours.
Oh, Steve, we were talking about sounds. I was thinking about you and bowls.
Yeah, Steve's
He
on
says,
the bowls.
exactly. He says we are moving from the information age to the age of intuition.
Yes.
Amazing. Divine divination. Divine divination. If you
Wow.
get into trouble, elementals are being released to us. Hallelujah. Essential oils are sacred and compounds.
Look, I'm not a fancy speaker. I just get on the show and then just let it roll. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just raw. What you see is what you get. I don't try to
exactly.
be eloquent. I just,
I can
say
tell
what
that. I
say,
can tell
say
that.
what I'm going to say.
Muriel,
Have a good
Muriel, thank
time and laugh.
you. Yeah, Rose Campbell. Oh, Truth Seeker. Hey, friend. Hi,
Yes.
you.
Love
Oh,
him. Love
wow.
him.
Such amazing family we have watching and commenting. This is so good. So good.
Speaking of Derek, or a truth seeker, um, he put out, I use it all the time, and this is another taboo, is like, don't read Enoch, don't read this, don't read that.
Yeah,
He
I
put
have
out a
that.
video, the lost books of the Bible, and I mean, he did hours of research on this. I know he did, right? And he puts a video out. I've shared it with people. They were blown away. They were like, oh my God, I never saw it. And then they went behind him and checked the information he gave it, and there it is. And they're like, I've
Yeah,
never seen it before. So
yeah,
that's what I mean. These guys are spending the hours doing the work.
exactly.
All
Yeah,
we got to do is look at it. That's a tool, and
yeah,
go behind them and look. It's
yeah.
right there.
I remember the first time. Well, I when I was still in church, I was doing all these books. I was looking at the lost books of the Bible. I was looking into the book of Enoch. I was looking all sorts. All I was really, really researching into all sorts of UFOs, name it, anything, ancient texts, Sumerian texts, anything, Egyptian
Yeah.
history. I was looking into all that, from archaeology to quantum physics, whatever. I was completely consumed with all that because I know Father knows each and every one of us, and He knows the path to take us all on. That's the path he took me on. And that's how he broke the foundations. He broke the wrong foundations for me by taking me through that journey. And I am so grateful for that now. So when I hear people talk about things like this, it doesn't scare me anymore. But I remember when I started, I used to put some of these things out on Facebook, and because I was still in church, I was told off seriously to stop doing all those things. So I backed off completely. And then now I have people like you coming here to talk to talk about them. I have people
And
like you sitting there talking
I'll
about
take the heat. I don't care. I mean, like,
confirming, yeah, confirming what
yeah.
Father was showing me from the very beginning. And it just makes sense that he's set me up for this and for meeting people like amazing, beautiful souls like you. What would be your last message for the world?
Well, the last message is keep engaging, connect with the people that we're interviewing. You can connect even with me. I have the Elastic Army Band live talk. I'm also too connected with Penny L.A. Shepherd and David Zublik on the Awake Nation on Thursdays and Fridays. So we're spreading truth about what's going on in the 3D realm.
Yes,
And
yes,
they're bringing on incredible people with incredible information, and those guys are awesome over there. But I would say, keep don't close down. Don't say, "Hey, I know it all. This is it. What my pastor told me. This is the only belief system. This is the only way." Don't do it. Stay open. If it doesn't resonate with you at the moment, just put it here. Hold on to it loosely, as Gil would say.
yes,
Hold on to it loosely, and it's
yes,
gonna come back around.
yeah,
Something will come up to go, I remember hearing somebody else talk about that, right?
true.
And then go back and listen to it, you
Yeah,
know? So, and I mean, I listen to a lot of weird stuff. I listen to Gene Decode, UFOs, Underground Dawn, blah, blah, you know, and all of that. I mean, and I like a good mix. And two, I want to say, don't land on one thing. Listen to different people because I know I've had discussions about like, what do you think about this talk? And I don't want to go there because it sounds like negative energy. Well,
yeah,
okay, maybe it does, but it's still an unveiling of a truth. So I like to be really balanced. Like I like to listen to this one, go here, there, and get a good, healthy mix of everything.
amazing, amazing, amazing. Always engage it with the spirit of truth
Yeah,
because he will teach you, he will guide your steps, and be fearless.
right. No fear.
No fear, no fear. Where there is fear, then there is no love. So let's grow in love so we can do this. Oh, thank you all, our Facebook friends and family. Yeah, be a Berean. Search the matter out. Thank you, Mario. It's so awesome to have you all on. I have been blessed by this wonderful, wonderful woman. Would you say a word of prayer for all of us before you
Sure,
go?
I would. So, first of all, I want to thank the Father for opening up doors and portals to be able to bring truth and message out, and to thank the Father for connections and creating talk shows and
Yeah.
relationships and being able to meet and have conversations like that. I want to bless each and every one who's watching, who may watch down the line, and people who haven't been watching, that they get a drawing or an umption to go, you know what? I just want to listen to what these people say. So just open the door for this and take the blockages off and take the scales off that
Yes.
block the truth from coming in. And I just
Yes.
bless everybody. And I see my screen just went out, but I'm still here, and just love you guys. And there we go.
You.
Yeah.
Oh, love is the message. Love
Yes.
is the message.
Love you
Let's
guys.
stay in love. Let's stay in love. Thank you all so much. Those of you who were able to come in and stay with us and listen to us and pass your comments, we are blessed to have you. Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you so much. Karen, thank you.
All
big hug.
right.
Love you so much.
Hey,
Thank
can I
you.
I'll do one more thing before we go.
Okay.
If you want to connect with us, you can
Yes.
listen to our music on my website, theelasticarmyband.com. You can connect with us on our group on the Elastic Army Band Live Talk page, and we have a group. And also connect with the Quest for Truth with Karina and I. We're doing shows every other
Yeah,
week,
that's a good
and I mean, it's so much depth there.
yeah.
Also, stay tuned on this channel too, because we're gonna we got to get Tish out here, and
Ooh,
and just drop in and see us, listen to some of the music, and we'll be putting on some shows too. And then September we're having the Hidden Dimensions and Beyond intensive here in Virginia. If you're close by in another state, whatever, you can go to Eventbrite or go to my page and get connected to join that. Right now, for the month of May, I've got a $99 special for general admission. I'm having it in a great location on a 1,000-acre horse farm. It
wow.
is, yes, it's a beautiful home out there, just out in the middle of nowhere, really, but it's
Amazing.
private. It's private. So what'll happen is if I get over a certain amount of people, then I'll move it. We'll still have some people in the house. Karina and them are staying. I've got some VIP people that's bought tickets to stay in the house. I don't even know if they'll get any sleep
I'm
with Luke
tempted.
and Karina in the house all night. The walls will be doing things. so anyway, we're going to have that. And if it gets over a certain amount of people, then I'll get another venue to, accommodate the masses.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
I'm going to tell you, this thing is going to be on the edge. We're going to have, for a closed group, we're having a Merkaba activation. It's a 6-hour activation with Karina.
Ooh.
We're going into the 9 bodies. We're going to go into some new revelation on communion. We're going to talk about uh, all kinds of stuff.
I can't wait to see you. I can't wait
Oh,
to see you back here.
this
You
is
have
not
to
going to be your normal retreat. I can tell you that.
I can't wait to have you back here. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we'll talk
Oh,
about it and tell you what happened.
yes, you will. You will. That's if I don't join you.
Yeah. So it's going to be really fun. Again, you can go
And
to the Elastic Army Band Live Talk and get the link there to RSVP with us. We'd love to see you there, and it's going to be awesome. That's all I'm going to say.
wow, people, stay tuned. There's so much more coming to you weekly. Every week, we are getting new people coming on. And this week, we've had this amazing woman. Thank you so much, Karen, for coming. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Glad to do it.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.